Okay, so it says now it's now being streamed. But I just want to make sure. Sometimes it says it is and then it's not. So I'll make sure that it's going. Okay, perfect. We're live. Okay, so it says that.
Awesome. Here we go.
Awesome. Okay, so hello, everyone. I am so excited about this. Alyse and I have been working on this for about a month and a half, and we are starting off the new year with the Alyse and Joanna show. From Connecticut to Colorado, we're going to give you real estate 101. So Alyse, why don't you share a little bit more about what our show is going to be about?
So we're looking for anyone who's out there who's interested in just learning more about the real estate market, whether you're a buyer, seller, renter, investor, builders, 2 a.m. Zillow stalkers, whatever it is, we want to answer your questions. So we ask that you drop some questions below, jump on and chat with us, or slide into Joanna's DMs or mine, and we'd love to record some educational information for you in the real estate market.
Yes, so we're so excited to be presenting this show to you today. Also, I live in Denver and like the downtown area, and there's always this weird dumpster sound. So I apologize because it's happening right now. So, okay. Anyways, so today's topic is going to be, is it worth selling now or should you wait till later? So we're going to be talking about what's going on specifically in Colorado, and then what's going on in the Connecticut area and what you should look out for if you are thinking of listing your home in the next year or so.
And that's a question that I've been getting a ton, Joanna, like, the market's crazy. We want to capitalize now. So can you tell your followers, like the people in your market, like what is the Colorado market like right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are a lot of buyers out there right now. I'm working with a lot of buyers, but I'm starting to see more listings. Like even today, we had over 100 listings at the market, and I was so surprised because that's the most I've seen in quite some time. But total, we have around 2,300, just above 2,300 listings available in our 7 metro counties. So it's not that many comparative to our 2.8 million people that live here, but there's still more inventory, and that's not including the new builds.
That's awesome. One of the things that you had told me about on our last call was like the months of inventory. Like how does that work in your market? I know I have the data on mine too. I'm in a much smaller market. I work in the greater Danbury area surrounding Candlewood Lake. Today, I'm just going to talk about the new Fairfield market just because it's my hometown, born and raised, and that's what I'm most familiar with. And a lot of the people that follow me are here. So what does that mean? The months of inventory in your market, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple different ways to think about it. So I'll try to explain it 2 different ways because sometimes it's easier to grasp. So a normal balanced real estate market in Denver specifically is about 6 months of inventory. So what that means is for every one buyer that you have, there's about 6 houses that they can look at to choose from in order for them to go under contract. So the less amount of houses under 6 that you get for a buyer, that's more of a seller's market. And then the more houses that you get, it's more of a buyer's market. So historically, Denver's always been a seller's market, which has helped our equity and our home prices. Even in 2008, it didn't really plummet that much because it is historically a seller's market. So right now, we actually have less than 1 house per buyer that they can go and see. So it's crazy. We have like 10 days of inventory. So like per every 1 house, you have 2.5, 3 buyers looking at it statistically.
That's crazy. So a little bit of information on our area. So New Fairfield has a small town, about 12,000, raises to about 16,000 in the summer because we have a lake here. We have 16 listings on the market.
Wow.
Yep. It's very small. And our average days on market are about 58 right now. And this is based on our data from the MLS. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it doesn't give, I feel, the proper numbers because right now we have 1.9 months of inventory, but they're including the active listings as the ones that are under contract. So I think that that number is actually much less.
Mhm.
But what I loved how you explained it to me last week was, if a buyer were to start searching today, that means that if no new homes came on the market in 1.9 months, so just under 2 months, all of the inventory for our buyers would be gone. And that's the same for you, right? Less than 2 weeks. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in about 10 days, if we don't have any homes go on the market, we don't have any inventory to sell to our buyers.
And that's wild, because I feel like the objection I'm getting from people all the time is like, well, then why do I list now? Where am I going to go? Like, what am I going to do if I sell at this crazy market number? That was something we had discussed last week. Like,
Mhm.
what are you telling people to do then moving forward?
Mhm. I mean, I think it's circumstantial. Honestly, I think for the client, they have to decide what's best for them. And it's also a question of, do you want to maximize your equity? I think there's this element of what's going to happen in the economy. Is this going to be a housing bubble? What if I buy a new house and the equity goes down lower, but I paid so much money for it? And I think those are all elements to consider, but I ultimately think, specifically in Denver, I'm a born and raised native here, and I've just seen how prices continue to go up like my whole life. So especially if you're in Denver, like our median home price is over 600 now, like in Denver proper. So if you've had a home that you've basically paid off the mortgage and want to downsize, like I think it's the time to maximize your equity, because you have a couple $100,000 in your house that, you could even pay a house with cash now, move to the outskirts or relocate if you want to buy a second home. There's a lot of options and rent back options so that you're not in like a homeless state if you list your home. So it's really a strategy that you partner with your agent with on what's going to work best for you. But there are so many solutions, and lenders have really helped people as well with their finances. So I'm curious to see if that's what you guys do out there. If that's much of an issue for like getting that two-month rent back, or if people are hesitant on selling and then trying to find a home.
The rent back's definitely happening here. A lot of people are utilizing it, which is a great resource and a great tool, but knowing that you're going to do that rent back. So for anyone who doesn't know what a rent back is, you're closing, you have an accepted offer on your property, you're closing March 1st, you negotiate in a 1 or 2 month rent back where you stay in the home, you rent the home from the new owners for 2 months. But at the end of that rent back, you have to have somewhere to go. So I think where we are really excelling for our clients is, we are not the kind of agents that just throw the home on the MLS, right? Like, we're not just leaving you high and dry to search and get notifications on when something comes up. I'm working with a client right now who's been looking for a house and hasn't been able to find anything. So we started sending letters. We started reaching out to off-market properties and saying to people, hey, I have a buyer who's interested in your home, and we are purchasing a for sale by owner right now that wasn't planning on selling just yet. So working with an agent, I think, is so important, and coming up with that strategy before you just place it on the market is essential. And that's what we're really working on, finding those off-market homes, bringing our clients something to purchase. At the end of the day, you don't want to sell and then have nowhere to go. You don't want to be living in a hotel or having to rent, because even rent right now is like crazy high, hard to find. And when your kids, if you are in the situation where you have kids in school, you don't want to get pushed out of your town where your kids are being educated. So that's something really important here. And we're working on that for our clients. So I would suggest that for anyone who is scared of putting their home on the market, like, we are the people you want to reach out to, because we're going to go after and be proactive about finding you a home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's so amazing. I think that's what makes it unique. Like, I think really working for our clients and wanting them to be successful and wanting them to win. And that's something like, I think if you have time on your side and you're not pressured to relocate or to sell by a certain time or purchase by a certain time, it allows you to really focus on those neighborhoods you really like. Like I ask my clients, are there neighborhoods that you drive by that you absolutely love? And you're like, oh, I could never live there. Nothing goes on the market. That shouldn't stop you from asking about it. You know, I'm always willing to make the phone calls, to call the homeowners or to write letters and see if there are people that are wanting to sell, but maybe in a similar situation to you, and maybe you guys can work it out so that it's successful for both of you. You never know. Like I've sold a house just based off of a phone call off market property. So it happens and there's opportunities out there. So I guess the biggest lesson that I've learned is just don't let all of the noise of what you're hearing from different people impact your decision. Just look at what that situation looks like for you and reach out to your professionals, lenders, and realtors and see if it would work for you and be beneficial. Because at the end of the day, that's ultimately what's most important, is if it's a good situation for you guys.
Yeah. And it's the person you're working with and the team that's behind them, because it's not just us. There's a whole group of people behind us helping one another. So I am loving that we are on the same page. We're experiencing very similar things. So glad that we got to connect today and can't wait to do it again next week. So anyone out there who has a question, reach out to us, post below, send us a DM. Like, we can't wait to connect more with you and help educate you on our real estate markets. So thanks, Joanna.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.